participants and we'll start meeting at 3 o'clock. Please stay tuned. Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you so much for joining for our today's webinar. We will wait for just one more minute and then after we will start our today's session. Meanwhile, this session will be all about how we treat our team members, our team in the current times. You have already attended our previous 4 session. However, this is another chance to know more about on this particular topic. If you have any questions or queries, would request you to please post in the chat box and we will try to cover all your questions towards the end in Q&A session. All right, so very warm welcome to all of you, to all our participants present here today. HR Association of India, along with Great Manager Institute of India, welcomes you all to the 2021 Dialogue Masterclass series on the topic, Leading People in the Current Times. As you know, Great Manager Institute conduct a Great People Manager survey in India. This year also they have conducted the survey and we are going to get the list of top 100 people manager in the month of December on 17th. For the same process, our speaker was also associated with Great Manager Institute. This recognition is powered by Forbes India and Great Manager Institute. And we are really grateful that for our speaker who is with us today will be sharing his success stories, mantras, hits and misses, and also his achievements over leading his team in the current time. To know more about us, HR Association of India and our event, would request you to please go through the link which is mentioned in the chat window. Also, you can know more about Great Manager Institute and their initiative for the link which has been shared in the chat window. We will be also capturing your feedback towards the end before Q&A session. So would request all the participants to please participate in the poll. It is now my privilege to welcome our esteemed speaker for today, Mr. Mainak Ranjan Chaki, Vice President, Head Human Resources, Skippers Limited. Mr. Manik is a 24 plus years experienced people-centric dynamic senior HR leader with rich experience in strategic HR journalist, IR and ER, L&D and OD, talent management, employee engagement, leadership development, change initiatives, performance management, with experience in social sectors, service industry, IT, ITES, retail, FMCG, alcoholic beverages, engineering, and industrial manufacturing. An MBA from University of Calcutta, IISWBM, the first B school in Indian management education history, which is University of Kolkata, with MA in mass communication and journalism in PR and advertising. He has done this from University of Kolkata. Now I would like to mention about the key strength, which includes building an HR function, organization, policy design and implementation, performance management, org structure and alignment, organizational health survey, 360-degree feedback, role restructuring, job analysis, competency mapping, and dictionary, and many more. Also, learning and development, talent management and development, leadership development, organization policy making to execution, people capability and development policy, assessment tools, intervention, and ADC. He has also been active in rewards and benefits plan, talent acquisition, sales HR, and plant manufacturing for HR and IR, and handles completely HRBP profile end-to-end. Also CSR at large scale, where he plans with the state government. He has received many prestigious awards like 2017 Most Influential HR Leader at World HRD Congress, 2018 100 HR Leaders Who Makes a Difference at CHRO Asia, 2019 Most Sustainable HR Leaders at HRFI. These are just a few awards to name. You can also follow him on LinkedIn. The link for the same has been shared in the chat window. Congratulations, Mr. Mainak, for all the achievements and for your inspirational journey. I'm sure our participants will be benefiting a lot from your experience and your journey. Over to you.
Thank you so much, Nehali. Thanks for introducing me. Big thanks to HRAI and Great Manager Institutes. So I'm associated with Great Manager Institute for the last 1 year with different forums. There was a survey instead of people management skills, just of, to know about the feedback. It's a 360-degree kind of feedback. So I have participated in that survey. So there are some score sheets which I have received, which is quite interesting and encouraging. I just add, I have worked with multiple organizations. I'm working with my current organization, Skipper Limited, for the last 6 years. Prior to that, I have worked with Carlsberg India, Aditya Birla Retail, Aditya Birla Group, Wipro Limited, Reliance Industries, and many others. Now, in the current scenario, if you look at for the last 2 years, crisis, how do you look crisis? Based on that, you will find your own solution. My only mantra is, crisis is always, creates opportunities to prove yourself and to create a new benefit for your personal life and professional lives also. Now, how you deal with crisis, the solution is already within crisis. Now, during crisis, in my personal experience, what I felt as being into HR, the majority which I need to deal with multiple people, because HR is not only human resource, HR is basically human relation, right? So when there is a global crisis for the last 2 years, it got started 2 years back, during in the month of March, there was a big uncertainty, right? The question was whether this uncertainty is actually extremely negative or there are some positive in this uncertainty. We call it positive uncertainty, right? Now, initially, when we started, getting all this news is that complete lockdown in India, global lockdown, so many things started happening, so many, fear psychosis attacking in the people. It was the most important thing. Are you connected with your team? Team means being an HR leader. My team is almost around 2,500 people in my organization, those who are in payroll, almost 6,000 people, those who are outside my organization payroll, but their life and their livelihood is related with my organization. Now, there are huge question marks. One, the question of life, whether I'll live or I'll die because of COVID. And the second part is, if this will continue, whether I'll get my salary or not. Right? So this was the biggest challenge for all the business leaders, those who had to face 2 years back. Now, what was our stand? So during that period, we had a meeting with our board. Obviously, that time we have started learning Zoom, right? Before that, who knows about Zoom? So in that meeting, my job was to convince not to go for any manpower cut, not to go for any salary cut for the next 2 months, right? Because you need to give confidence to your people during crisis period. So that is the time where you can build the trust or break the trust. There are many organizations, they have immediately started manpower cutting, they have immediately started salary cut, but we have convinced, and I'm thankful to my board, they also have agreed this is not the right time to do this, because already all the people, they are under extreme stress or extreme depression. So the first communication goes from our desk is there is no salary cut, there is no change in your salary, whether production will happening or not happening, because good time people have given enough. So we need to give them the opportunity for the future in bad times, their bad times, right? You need to take care of them. So the first program we launched, Connecting the Core. The name of the program which we have started, the program name was People Connect. Now, People Connect is a brand for us now. Now, in this connecting program, what we have done, we have reached each and every employees and the worker. So what we did, we have made a chart based on the organogram. We have communicated all the leaders and give them that confidence, that trust us because we trust you. We are not going to do anything with you. In this time, we are together, right? We need to fight back, and we need to think how to fight back in terms of your health, your family future, and let us try that if there is anything pending, any work which has not happened, which are paper-based work, strategic work, we need to do it now. Now, we engage people, right? If you're sitting idle during that period at home and started thinking only about COVID, and in the television you can see, in this country that much of people are dying. In Italy there is a series of deaths, so it is actually disturbing us, right? I'm talking about the first COVID attack. During that period, what we started doing, that first in this People Connect, we have started communicating with the people that you need not worry, stay at home, just relax, and start thinking what are the new things you can implement for this next 2 months. So we took first 2 months as a gestation period. So in this People Connect, out of this People Connect, we got lots of things like, for any organization, you need to review your SOPs, you need to change your job description, you need to write that proper job role. So the whole team were busy to complete all the work. So that new COVID policy which came up from that discussion, so within 7 to 10 days, we have launched COVID policies where we approved COVID leave, where we approved all these COVID facilities, and we increased employee health benefit from 5 lakhs to 10 lakhs during that period, right? So the whole support system and the confidence level for the people and the trust level got increased along with their family, right? The second part, once we cover the communication with the family, we saw there are lots of COVID cases got started, right? So we launched the second program called Family Connect, right? In this Family Connect, we have a team. We have a team from each and every department. There are different spokes because there are multiple spokes for different SBUs. We started contacting with the families, those who are suffering with COVID, helping them for getting hospitalized, sending them oxygen cylinders, arranging their food from nearby locations. So all the support system we have started doing. So you just try to understand when you are in crisis, but you took this crisis as a better thing and your whole team member is getting engaged to help each other, your bonding and connect will be much higher. We got the result, right? So we launched a program called Hum Saath Saath Hai. It is very simple that if your family is in crisis, don't worry, we are there. We'll not get into your house, but we'll do whatever best possible thing to support your family. If your father is ill, we arranged, we have hired, in our factories, there are a number of ambulances. So all people got trained with health staffs. We took his parents and, somebody's parents and, put into some government hospital, private hospitals. In the family, they are not able to go out. So sending them their foods and rations to their house, all things we have arranged across India, right? So our, that trust building activity was enormous, right? So that People Connect and people relationship with the management and the employees amongst the worker also, right? They started, they were already believing in it, but when they started comparing along with other organizations, they felt that we are fortunate. We are working with such an organization, those who are really passionate on the organization. There was no manpower cut during that period, right? Now, that new ways of working got started, that hybrid model. First work from home, then you get into hybrid model, the third phase. What was hybrid model? We are a pure manufacturing based organization. What we do, we have 3 verticals, 3 SBU. We manufacture heavy engineering towers. Most of all of you have seen that, all these electrical transmission towers, right? So we are into energy sector. So we need to manufacture those towers. We need to put those towers in villages, riverside, mountains for electrification of the countries, not only in India, in globally, in multiple countries. So the challenges is you need to start the plant after a certain period, after 2 months, right? When you get a provision or the permission of run with 25% people, 50% people. Surprisingly, when we call people, can you able to join? Nobody has said no. So we need to arrange our plant infrastructure, our offices infrastructure in a completely different way. Now, honestly speaking, we had a team of people, those who have done this. being a leader of HR leader or the business leader, my job was to do the framework and the build the trust. Now, if you build the trust, what I have observed, I see that young, fascinating people, they were arranging everything for the business, right? So we did not have any business loss in the first year. Rather, after 2 months of zero production, we have surpasses our previous year's balance sheet by more than 100 crores. I'm talking about the first year. So you got an opportunity of COVID where you can do a nice teamwork through connecting people. Hum Saath Saath Hai has given you a much more benefit. Now we launched another program which is known as Office Wala Ghar Wala. That was specifically meant for people those who are working from home. Now what was that? During this time, I have started getting complaint that people are not working. They are extremely busy for household work. So if I call them for 1 o'clock, they will say I'm busy with, I'm washing my, utensils, or I'm busy for my kids' classes and all these things. So then we thought that we need to include family in this journey, right? So they trust us, but all of you have experienced that. So we have made a particular 1 hour weekly session with the families. So department wise, there was a tea time, that family's time. Then they started sharing what they are doing during the daytime with their families. So it is, normal, like, I was doing some, jharu pocha, somebody was doing, cooking and all these things. Then they decide, and their family got decide that when ghar wala, office wala ghar wala ho jata hai, तो ऑफिस के लिए एक टाइम स्पेसिफिक करना पड़ेगा, so we should not disturb them. Let us do in during that period. So that entire work from home got disciplined by the families itself. So that productivity got increased, right? So that was one of a big achievement for the entire team. During this work from home scenario, there is a huge change of business. Look, we were basically a domestic market player. 70% of our revenue was from domestic market. Now we saw that there is a huge market in international which were not even tapped previous years because we were more busy into domestic market business. During that period in work from home, we have made a teamwork called Sales for Non-Sales, where international domestic sales team, along with commercial, finance, all the team members, there was a collaborative team, which was known as Sales for Non-Sales. They got trained, they got pitched that how to sit with our international clients. Trust me, during first pandemic, during second pandemic attack, our business line got completely changed, where 70% revenue was from domestic. Now we are focusing 70% from international business market. And because of this skilling and training and coaching program, that entire focus of the business is now moved to global, where the projection for this financial year and next financial year is actually doubling the business, which was not happening earlier. Now, as people trust the organization, they believe in it, and this, together they saw the opportunity. We have started getting more orders from international business. Parallelly, managing people is also, you have to give them a learning touch. What is learning touch? It is not that always you need to send people for a big learning program. You can have a learning program with his boss, with a cross-functional. So we launched an online program called Tea Time Learning. It's a cross-functional learning, group learning, or function to function learning. So what was Tea Time Learning? Let's say 5 to 6 in a week, in a particular day, or 2 days, or 4:30 to 5:30, 1 hour learning from a leader. Maybe it is from business, maybe from the industry expert. So they started learning new things and what are the new best practices happening in other organizations. So our team got an enormous scope to learn, which was not possible during other time. In a normal time it is not possible, but in crisis we got a good opportunity for the learning. Obviously, like other organization, all this digital learning, IT learning, all these processes got started. It is common for all the organization. I'm not getting into that detail. But there are some game-changing decisions which we have taken, which we basket it as a program called Trust That Motivates. Now, what we did during this crisis. First, I have told you, we have increased that health insurance. And we also, earlier, their parents were also covered. For them also, we have increased, not very much, but a certain amount of health insurance coverage that their parents got added. We took a COVID term insurance policy separately. That premium is a peanut, but in that policy, other than your group term insurance, if anybody will, any case of, demise of any of employee, that their family will get the benefit. For the 2,700 people for the last year, there are 3 deceased cases in our organization. All of their families got, they have received their group term insurance plus COVID term insurance also. We launched a different policy called COVID Care. So if you go to my LinkedIn profile and if you search, you can see that policy. That COVID Care is a support policy for employees and their families, right? In case if there is any case of disease, right? The deceased wife, or if he's unmarried, his parents, if they're dependent, they will get the salary up to 50,000 for the next 2 years, right? That's a resettlement allowance that we have coined the name. Their children will get academic support, the entire tuition fees till their graduation. So this is one of the policy. Being we are not a very large organization like Tata or my previous organization like Aditya Birla, right? So you need to have that courage to frame that policy, and you need to have that intent that you trust your people, you take care of the people. So that name of the policy was COVID Care, which we have implemented. During COVID, in plant, there are lots of workers, they need to work because we are production-based, manufacturing-based company. If you do not manufacture and supply it to globally, you will not get your revenue back. So there are staggered shift, there are different rotations, there are different strategies. But during COVID, we have launched different incentive programs other than all these things on productivity, right? Interestingly, we saw earlier, with 100 people, if your productivity is 100 ton, with 60 people, you can achieve 120 tons. So why I'm talking about tons? Because, in metal industry, when you work with iron, so the measurement is ton, right? So that we also see that productivity, the scopes are increased. So we incentivize those people in different way, whether it is worker, whether it is, employees, for all, right? So that happiness inside the organization during crisis was, one of the differentiator which has made us different. Obviously, I have told you about COVID policies. Now, then, vaccination got started. I'm really happy to share that along with my 2,700 employees, almost around 8,000 laborers or workers along with their families got vaccinated through us. We had a huge tie-up with state government, right? We made that tie-up with state health. So in our campuses, we have given double vaccination more than 11,000 people in different part of the country, right? And the biggest fun was, that earlier there was a challenge for, availability of labor. But nowadays, all the laborers, they have a preference. I'm talking about Delhi laborers, wage-based laborers. They prefer to work in our organization because they feel we took care not only for him, for their families also. We give them COVID incentive also. If there was any challenges for the laborer houses also, we have sent them food. Through ESIC, their hospitalization, we take care. So it's a complete package. So we call it, that trust that motivates, and trust transform into performance. Believe me, in today's scenario, the attrition level is least. There was no downsizing till date. We have grown almost around 20% in the last 2 years. And we believe that in this particular financial year, our organization will surpass our budget. And we are ready with the next year production orders and target globally. So this is the basic thought which we strongly believe, that how you look crisis. During this crisis, if you feel that, this is, something which will eat my mind and eat my head and body, you will not come out of the problem. But every crisis has solution in it. For people, it is very important building trust, creating empathy, and during crisis, if you are with them, right? Being HR, being business leaders, being a sales aide. So I believe, I represent HR, but I'm a business leader. So I tell all of my SBU heads that you are the people leader, right? You are the great people manager, those who are managing your team directly. So if you manage your team directly, right? If you are the manager, you are the leader of your team, how you are taking care during crisis, it will create your scorecard, it will make your business scorecard. Fortunately, it works. It is working absolutely fine. And we are happy to say that we are growing, right? In previous various organizations, I have worked with multiple team members. I have seen multiple crises. My motto and my objective, if you have good people in the team, you allow him to grow, you mentor him to grow, you coach him, right? During this crisis, there are lots of growth happened. First year, we didn't give any, there was no increment, right? But there are some COVID performance incentive. But after that, everything is normal, incentive, long-term incentive, ESOPs, all the benefits and offerings are with the employee side. Employers are happy, employees also happy, team is happy, and we are growing. So this is the basic snapshot about the last 2 years from my organization. Now I am open to listen your views. If you have any questions or how you want to go ahead, Nihali, it's up to you.
Sure, sir, we can.
Any question? Anything you want?
Yeah, so I was waiting for the participants' feedback. As of now, we do not see any questions, so we can go ahead. If there is any question comes, like we will take care of it later.
Great, great.
Yes, sir, we can go ahead with the session.
Okay, so my personal learning, COVID is a recent time crisis. Other than this COVID crisis, I'm working with, I've worked with multiple types of organization. It is, whether it is service industries, whether it is other industries, it is in retail, everywhere there are some challenges. But my basic objective was to connect with the people, to understand the talent. And talent means I'm not defining talent is it is related with some basic species. It's not that. Each and every one has their inner talent, right? Being a people leader, being a manager, you need to encourage them, right? With my team, we do different types of learning touch. I have met multiple salespeople as a sales coach. They are now national capability heads, national coach in different organizations. I still remember I worked with one organization called Aditya Builder Retail. There was a good, young people, those who had worked in third party, right? That means outsourced organization. They were facing different challenges and crises. But fortunately, I had an interaction with them for quite a long time. Many of them, now they are extremely successful in their career. Some of them, they are heading different retail outlets. Some of them, they are heading different distribution centers single-handedly. So there are lots of examples. My only humble request to all of you, maybe all of you are professionals, somebody is students, somebody is, future leaders of the organization. You have gone through with other multiple sessions with, 4 other great people manager, I'm sure. But my learning, if you can build trust, you will automatically get performance. And for trust, it is not that always you have to give everything. Trust, building trust is how you connect professionally and personally with the person. Professionally means that you need to become like a coach or a mentor. You need to follow the task model, that this is your task, you need to manage it. For that, you might face some of your personal problem. That you need to keep it aside and handle it. There is no excuse about the work. So if you build trust, that trust will convert into task. And that task will give you performance. End of the day, all of us are working with organizations, right? In this organization, end of the day, that objective is that if organization will grow, you will grow, right? The growth of the organization is purely depending upon whether you have been able to earn revenue or not, and you are managing your cost within a certain framework. Each and every one in any organization, be it HR, be it finance, be it sales, be it production, or in service industry, or in ITS industry, the whole organization is following the same principle. Your role, if you're a leader or you're a future leader, you need to build trust amongst the organization. You need to build trust with your team and the peer, right? You need to, translate your trust into task performance model, right? Now, trust, if somebody will trust you and respect you for your, mentoring and coaching skills or your innovations during crisis, they will listen to you and complete the task on time or before time. Your task will convert into performance if you perform, if all perform, or the 90% organization perform, your organization will grow. And if your organization will go, you will also go. Recent days, if we study organizational life cycle, we see that there is a huge job change from one organization to another organization, mainly for the millennial. It's a new trend, right? It is also correct or incorrect, that time will say. But for learning a business, you need to go through with at least 2 to 3 business cycles. You have to go through with crisis. You need to solve the problems, right? You need to understand the crisis, and you also need to enjoy that crisis. If you don't enjoy that crisis, that you are not the leader. So stress that motivates is a part of crisis. In any crisis, there will be stress, but that stress should motivate you in, in creating the innovation. If you have that gene, if you have that, enthusiasm and, energy, you can create miracle. So my humble request to all of you, I'm not the best. I'm also the part of the learning process, right? So I always learn from my peers. I always learn from industries. I always learn from my juniors also, because my team, they can create excellence. That I believe, right? So from my side, thank you so much. It's a great, opportunity to interact with you. If there is anything, any questions or anything else you want to ask, feel free to ask. Else, now it is purely with Nihali. And thank you HRAI and Great Managers Institute for this discussion opportunity. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, sir, for all the inspiring and interesting stories. Before we move to the Q&A session, I would request all the participants, like whoever have joined today's session, please send an email on team@HR Association of India to avail your e-certificate. For that, you will need to mention your name and the session which you have attended. Here we have the first question from Tushar, Mr. Mainak. Question is, how do we make soft skills training program more attractive to technical team members in an IT company? How do we create the awareness?
Now, my answer is specific that if you talk about that IT companies.
Sorry to interrupt, Mr. Mainak, but we can't see you. I can't see you. Yeah, now it is.
So for IT companies, the way of operation is more into work from home now, right? Now, if you talk about soft skills, you need to identify the skills which actually, let's say, if I say that, what are the skills that you are expecting from your technical skills? One, I believe that one is very important is collaboration. Number two is task completion, right? Now, for collaboration, if you have to do soft skills, why don't you do a Family Connect program first? Before, if your target is, creating soft skills, if they're single, it is different. If they're family members, you can do Family Connect. But what I practice, I saw there are people, they're very good, but they are very good performer, but they're not ready to go for any training, right? So I started sending an appreciation letter to their parents, right? That he is doing very good. And as per his new development plan, we are happy that he will be joining for this training program on that. Send it to his peer group, send it to his, highlight him. If you can make 3 people hero, right? We call it make him a hero or make her a heroine, whatever you say. Now you need to influence them with their peer group only. From the peer group, if you can choose 3 to 4 people, those who are showing interest and saying something good about this soft skills program, rest will be get motivated. Otherwise, HR is doing training, it's a HR agenda. But if it is really needed for them, it is very important that how it will create business impact and how it will create impact on his career, that need to be communicated very clearly. And you need to do some showcasing with other teams and other people from the peer group who will be saying on behalf of you that, I have gone through with this. So you need to split your team into different dynamics. That there is a skill matrix called social styling, right? So if you can talk to me, or if you can connect me offline, I'll share you that you need to take out some influences from the group. If it is a team of 10 people, you will find amiable people, influencers people. There are people, those who are drivers, and there are people, those who are analytic. You need to pick up these influencers and use them for this communication. But only as an HR, Vinita, if you say that they will be, consider you as a agenda. So as you are talking about influencing, it is very important how to influence. That's a skill. Two ways. One is link it with his career, that how it will impact on your business result. Number two, pick up some influencer and use them as your mic.
What an elaborative answer. Thank you so much. Here we have a next question from Vanita. How can a leader pursue non-binary approach to problem solving during these current times?
Can you come again? That what was the second question? How can a leader pursue
non-binary
approach
to problem solving during these times?
Vinita, recent problem was not a binary problem, right? Why? And it was not a linear problem also. The challenge is, if you take organization as a case, right, you will have different types of people in the organization, right? So if you have to do problem solving, you need to understand that organization pulse first. What is the business goal? This is, if I talk about that, do we know that what is our future of business, what we are looking at? Are we aligning our team members towards the goal? This is one part. Second part is, what's in it for me? Being an employee, what's in it for me? Why should I look for that goal? If I talk about binary, if I can link this two, right, then you can solve any problem. Like you have said, in current times, what is your organization objective? Is it defined? Are you clear about being an HR? Are you clear about your organization objective and financial objective? Because most of the cases, HR has been treated as non-mathematical guy. They do not have any idea about mathematics. They only do agenda-based tick mark, right? And they are not contributing to the business. They are only participate in the business as a support function. But try to understand, my dear friends, HR is one of the most important function if you know the business dynamics and business analytics, right? The dimension of the first part, there are, if I go by your questions, that binary part, right? There are two metrics. One is, what is my business financial objectives, and what's in it for me? For an employee, मेरे लिए इधर क्या है? If I can correlate this, you can communicate anything, you can solve it. And if you go for non-binary approach, you have to go with emotional quotients and emotional penetration of the people. Like we do a program, I told you, that ghar wale bahar wale or ghar wale office wale. There was no binary linkage. It is purely emotional intelligence. Nowadays, we are doing lots of programs for family kids. Believe me, earlier we didn't get these opportunities. Now every month, all the SBUs, their HR, they're connecting with their families, doing multiple competitions. Now parents are very happy because their kids are also engaged with my organization. There are different rewards programs. There are different, small R&R programs. Forget about employees. Now, in today's scenario, employees are happy if I talk about me. What's in it for me? Because my son is getting, a good, session with an expert for mindfulness. He's 14 years old. So now he is a kid with computers and laptops and mobile phone. So that's a concern for the parents. Now we launched a program for the kids to mentor them during crisis. This is non-binary. Now you need to go out of the way. And for the IT companies where more young people, those who are engaged, that age group is much more lesser, you need to understand their psychography. What motivates them? What makes them proud? Can you make him a proud employee of yours? Let's say if I talk about a 28 years or 26 years young guy who is unmarried, we can change our job within 6 months of time. If you make him a hero in front of his parents and his family, he will respect you or she will respect you. How can you make him a hero? How can you engage him or her in a project which may be a work related project, which may be a non-work related project, which is actually helping him to develop as a human? I meant to say, I got lots of good guys in my organization during COVID crisis. I made them hero. During COVID, all this intelligent guy, I was sure that after this COVID, they will start searching job, right? Now they are driving the business because during COVID time, they have earned respect. Now they are the proud fellow member for creating innovation with people lives, and they are not HR. Somebody is production guy, senior engineer, somebody is IT engineers, somebody is a quality guy, somebody from finance department. So you need to identify those influencers and create a team and make various projects for them so that they can create, wow for the organization and create a different proud for themselves. So that's the non-binary approach. And binary approach is, it's very simple. What's in it for me and what is my business financial goal for future of business? If you can connect your binary thing, you can put into a shape. And for that, please understand financial ratios and understand your balance sheet. For all HR, if please study this, it will help. Believe me, it will help you.
That was a fantastic answer. Thank you so much. I'm sure like Vanita, you got your answer, but from this particular answer, we have got a lot of other answers as well for many like when we are in the experience range of 10 to 15 years, we experience like a lot of difficulties or we have a lot of queries, but you have really answered like a lot of questions.
Daniel, will you be a little louder?
Yeah. Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So thank you so much. You have a great pool of knowledge, your experience, your thought process, and many like your practices which you have shared. I'm sure all our participants have thoroughly enjoyed the session. There were many interesting stories and key takeaways, and it was a great learning experience for all of us. So thank you so much for your valuable time and for all the support you have given throughout this process. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Ali. Thank you very much. And my sincere thanks to all the participants, rather all the future leaders or the leaders in the industry whom I don't know. I'll be happy to interact with you and grow well, trust people, develop people. And the main thing is connect people, actually. If you are connected with the people and if you understand the business, it's how you in crisis, how you manage your problem, how you actually take the opportunity of the problem. That's up to you.
Right, very rightly said. Thank you so much. And also I would like to take this opportunity to thank Great Manager Institute, where we are privileged to be working with them on this series. Thank you so much everyone for joining. Do join us for our next event, Connecting the Dots, on the topic HR, a shared role, HR, non-HR and leadership, on 2nd December 2021. Please join for this event at the link which is shared in the chat window. And I'll see you everyone on 2nd of December. Thank you so much once again for joining our today's webinar. Have a very happy weekend. Stay safe, take care, and bye for now. Thank you so much. Thanks, Shyam. We can conclude the meeting.